Hi. Thank you for being here today. And I want to apologize ahead of time for the background noise because I'm at work. And I'm sitting in the car and it's being parked right next to the road. So it can be a little noisy at times because it's a very busy road. And people like to horn a lot around here. So yeah, it was so slow at work. I'm in right now, so I have time to record an episode. And I was gonna do it earlier before work, but I just couldn't do it. You know, the same story every time I'm coming up here. I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I'm having the worst day of my life again. But it is. Today probably mark one of the worst days that I had since July last year, probably. And these thoughts of the future coming up because when you go and just imagine this, you put all your eggs in one basket, and all of those eggs are borrow. It's like you borrow money to buy those eggs to make more eggs, hoping that you can hatch those eggs into chickens, and then those chicken can make more eggs, and then I can sell those eggs and make the money, and then pay back the money that I owe, the money that I borrow to buy those eggs in the first place. And today I dropped all of them. That feeling like, fuck, what am I gonna do now? Like, I have to pay monthly payment on these eggs, and now I don't have any eggs, but I still have to make these payments over time, and they come with interest, pretty high interest. And if I pay a month by the time that was dated, 16 months or something, then I would essentially pay off double the amount that I owe. But the initial goals was to use these eggs to make more eggs, and then I'll pay it off as fast as possible so I don't have to pay as much interest. But now I've lost all of my eggs. It's like, now you fuck. You don't have any eggs left. Now you don't know how you're gonna generate income. But then at the same time, now you have more debt. You have more payments you have to pay now. And it's like, fuck. Now I'm not gonna be able to borrow more money to get more eggs because no one would gonna let me. No one would willing to take the risk to give me money to buy more eggs. And that's the story of my life. Recently, and especially today, I dropped it all. I fuck it. I don't know how I'm making it sound like I'm having a good time. Maybe I've just become a lunatic, from doing this for so long. But I was at work. I had to put on a mask, a happy mask. A mask that say, I am fine. My life is perfectly fine. And I'm okay. Nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with my life. But now I'm sitting in the car and then I want to scream. I want to scream from the top of my lung. Because I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I've lost all the eggs. And now I have more things to pay. And guess what I have left? This podcast. Yes, the podcast that does not generate any income, does not have any view. Well, no, don't. One viewer. I have one subscriber, and the name is Yusuf. I'm not sure. I think this is the guy name. I don't know, but I'm not very familiar with names and. But yeah, this one person has been listening to my podcast for months now, and it just, really gave me comfort in a hard time, knowing that actually I'm making someone else's life better, even just one person. Even when I'm at episode 365, 66, or 360, 60 something, still it's feel unmotivating to keep doing the work that seemed like no one care. Doesn't seem like it making any impact. But then you realize that there's someone that listening to it. And sometimes one person is all it takes. That's all I needed. And I say this from time to time that, I'm doing this podcast not because I want to make money, not because I want to be famous, but it's just something that I like to do. Something that gives me a sense of purpose. Something to make me feel like I'm making an impact in this world, even just a little. And yeah, I don't really know how to navigate life from now on. But then, I got to work. I got to work and, here I am. And you realize that sometimes you don't have to have it all figured out. Sometimes maybe just being here, it's enough. Being alive. But I know it's just me trying to talk myself out, trying to make it seem like I can get through this. I'm okay. But the reality is that I am not okay at all. But then I remembered this quote that I heard from online. I can't remember who said it. But he say, you're just not in enough pain. You're just not going through enough pain. That's it. And I thought to myself, actually that's kind of true. Because the only time when I really actually do something that meaningful, that worthwhile in my life is when I was suffering, when I was going through some shit that I had no other choice to have to get back up or try or do it. And I realized that when you're comfortable, when you have it all figured out, when you have everything, you don't really have to try anymore. You don't really have to put the work into the disciplines, to discipline yourself to do what needs to be done. And it's hard. It's very, very hard to do the thing that you know that you need to do, you have to do. But your body says, I don't want to do it. It's uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. And it's hard. It's very, very hard. And what happened today really taught me that, you have. Give me 1 second, I gotta get back to work. Okay, 1 second, I'll be back. Hi, I'm back. It's been, how long? Well, it's 7:05 p.m. now, and it was 11 earlier. So it's been a minute. And, yeah, just got off work, and I'm parking at the taco truck place again. You know what it means, right? Well, I haven't had anything to eat all day, and it's been a rough one today. I thought I could hold it in. I really thought I could. I really thought I could just, pretend like everything's alright, and I'll feel alright. But what I've learned is that the more I force myself to not think about it, to say it's okay, to say just live in the moment and appreciate all the things that you have right now. But it is not that easy, because I could think about it. It's all the things that I've lost, and there's nothing left. It feels like, you've lost all your hopes. Oh, 1 second, I gotta pick up the tacos. Sorry about that. The guy was calling me from the taco truck. I had to run over there and get it. But now I have to drive on the road, and just want to let you know ahead of time, it's gonna be a little loud with the background noise. So excuse my car engines and all the cars around me, but I'll try to speak a little louder, and you can lower the volume. That might help reduce the background noise. But yeah, it's hard to ignore whatever is going on in your life, the things that'll killing you slowly on the inside. And I wouldn't know it until I live it. And that's exactly where I am right now. And all day at work, all I try to do is just to try to sweep it under the rug. Try to pretend like, it's just life. It's happened. Yes, I know there's nothing. It's like there's no way you're gonna make anything back, and now you're stuck. You're stuck with all of the consequences that you make, that you did. The things that you did. Now you have to face all of the consequences, and it's scary. And it just nothing in my head except all of the uncertainties, the things that I'm worrying about, you know? It's frightening because all I could think about is the worst things that could happen down the road, but it's going to happen because I did this to myself and I have no one to blame but myself. So yeah, and the fact that I already told my boss that from now on I'm gonna be working from 11 instead of 9, and now I can't back down. I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna go back to work from 9. I was just kidding, I'm not gonna do that. But working from 11 to 7 from now on, that also means I'm gonna be making less money than I was before. And it's just all these thoughts that, that in my head saying, what the fuck you gonna do now? You're fucking toasted. Like all of these things that I'm just scared that this is what the rest of my life is going to look like. And I was going to fast all day. I was going to eat anything all day until like now I'm just going to go home and open that bottle of wine. That wine bottle that I bought. It was intense to be open when I have something good in my life happen, It was meant to be a celebration. But now I'm gonna open it tonight. And I want today to be the day that will end this version of me. I want today to be the end of that version of me. Because if I keep on living like this, I would just keep on going back here over and over again. And I can't do that anymore. I feel like I'm just making excuses so I can go home and eat my tacos and drink a bottle of wine. But I said in the last episode, when it's hurt enough, when the pain hurts you enough, you have no other choice than forcing yourself to change. You have no other choice other than leaving this version of you behind. But in the next episode, you will see if I keep the promise that I make to myself today or not. Because I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow I'm just gonna slip in and skipping the gyms and skipping cookings and eating dog shit food again, and then ended up being drunk again tomorrow night and then the day after. Because it happened before and it will happen again, and I'm no stranger to that anymore. I'm just so used to breaking promises that I made to myself. I'm just so used to it. And funny how I made this podcast to be some sort of motivational podcast. Things that people can listen to and, they can find it relatable and they can change their life for the better. And here I am, can't even fix myself. Can't even fix my own. Let alone trying to fix other. Isn't that ironic? It's fucking crazy, isn't it? But yeah, I am going home. I'm gonna eat my tacos. And I'm gonna enjoy my bottle of wine. Thank you so much for being here today, and I hope I'll see you on the next one. I'll see you tomorrow.